Hi, welcome to the Saturday Show. I'm Kurt Vincent with the Bladen Journal. My guest this week is Layton Dowless. He's a veteran tombstone provider in the area. Layton, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me.
This is kind of a special version of the Saturday Show for us. We've got a special anniversary coming up on Tuesday. It's the 150th anniversary of the start of the Civil War. And first of all, tell us what a veteran tombstone provider does.
Well, there's a little bit of hard work. I wouldn't say a lot, but a little bit of hard work. You got to find a veteran, especially like Revolution or Civil War, War of 1812. Find a descendant that will sign off. A little bit of cooperation always helps, and of course you got to have the military documentation, to verify they were in service. And then you got to find somewhere to put the stone if they don't know where they're buried and things like that. But it takes a little time on some of them. Some of them are real easy, some of them are kind of hard. That's according to the situation. Now,
how long have you been doing this, and what is it that got you started doing this?
I was in the National Guard and Army Reserve for almost 38 years, and when I retired, I wanted to still keep in touch with the military aspect of everything, and so I joined the Sons of Confederate and the Sons of American Revolution and different things like that, and genealogy clubs, and so now I knew where John Washington Shaw, which was my great granddaddy on my Shaw side of the family, and I think I get him a stone, and so I was green to do a thing to do. So the VA, the local chapter here in Whiteville, helped me this Shaw, and it helped me fill out the paperwork. And so I got the stone, and 200-some pound stone. How you don't put it down by yourself?
Right.
But I worked it out, got it down, and then I was talking to Sam Pate over in Bladeburg, at the Bladeburg Historical Society, and he asked me to get some for him because he had several Pates in the Civil War. So I said, okay, and his great-great-granddaddy and my great-great-grandmama were brother and sister, so it would be like family,
Sure.
So I said, well, okay, I get it, and after that, they just kind of took off, and word of mouth got around. Our friend built some cars and pass them out and things like that, but it mushroomed on me, and then I got up with Jason Badeau over at the Bladen County Genealogy Society meeting one day, probably about 5 years ago, I guess. And Jason had about 80 names that he wanted to get a stone for.
Wow.
I said, how in the world somebody had that many kin people and know it? But I found out he got started in genealogy in the 6th grade. Both his grandmamas were heavy into it.
Okay.
So I said, I was going to try to get about 50. Then I got up with Jason. I said, well, maybe I can get 100 now. He's got 80 names. So it worked out pretty good. We're still working on Jason. We've got, he and his wife, we've got 84. He and his wife so far. And most of them been for Jason. And we're still getting some.
So this whole kind of project that started out for personal reasons has mushroomed.
That's right. It's just well, the Lord helped me with it. I can't leave him out.
Right. That's true.
We always turn to him at different times for different situations, for help. And he's really blessed me on this endeavor. I call it an adventure. A lot of people want to call it a hobby or a job, but I call it an adventure because I've learned so much, been to so many people's homes and so many cemeteries and different meetings, and been asked to speak at different places, DAR chapters, and then we went to school. One of my granddaughters got to go to school one day, and I think she was in the 2nd grade then, and talked to the children about flags, and so children like to wave flags, but it's just been one thing to another. It's been exciting.
Right. I can imagine.
It's good for somebody retired.
Right. Now, as I mentioned at the start, the Bladen Journal has a special memoriam coming up on the anniversary of the 150th anniversary of the Civil War starting, and you've been very helpful with that. You've got just an immense amount of information on that. How many Civil War grave markers do you think you've placed since you started?
Like I said, I placed more Civil War because they're the easiest one to get, but more abundant because there was so many in the Civil War. I would say 200 plus out of the 375 had been Civil War.
Okay.
And the Revolution would come next, and then probably World War II would come next.
Now, having started doing information on the Civil War and Bladen County folks who served in the Civil War, I know that 200 is probably barely a dent in the number of folks who actually did serve from Bladen County. So there's quite a few more out there.
Oh yeah, lots more. I just wish I had time to get around all of them.
Right. When we first talked, and this is weeks ago now, you told an interesting story about a Yankee grave marker.
That's right. Yeah.
Tell us that story.
Well, when I started this thing, I said, you know, there was quite a lot of animosity against the Union Army.
Right.
And I said, well, I ain't gonna ever do a Yankee soldier. And I said, just wouldn't be right, you know. But Jason's wife had an ancestor that was a Union soldier. He came down after the war, and they thought maybe he might have came down with this Colonel Abbott that started Abbotsburg, you know, when they had the big explosion over there with the turpentine business and lumber business, and they were building modular homes, boxcars. It was the biggest town between Wilmington and Charlotte at that time. And we thought maybe he might have come down with him, you know, work with him, but somehow or another he met I think it was the Squires over in Kelly, and they were married, and that's where Jamie came from, you know, from that wedding, from that family. So we ordered a stone. It was quite unusual. When it came in, it was in the back of the truck, you know, and I said, that stone don't look right. And I got it down the ground, and it was not the same size as the regular stones. You know, it was smaller. It was like 3 inches instead of 4 inches thick. Didn't have any the writing on it, wasn't highlighted in black, you know, like those should be. So I called Jason and told him about it, you know, and he called Tennessee, and he told us that they had gone back to doing the Union soldiers like they did after the war, you know. Okay. And that's the reason it was kind of downside. Of course, it had the shield sandblasted out, you know, it had the name elevated in there, and dates and everything. So I told Jason, I said, Jason, I'll take this thing and lay it down, and I'll highlight those names and dates and all, and it make it look like a different stone. You know, you could read it. You know, right. Before you could barely make it out.
So
they right on top of it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an ordeal too, you know, to get through that situation, to get everybody satisfied.
But that's the only Union soldier you've done.
That's the only one just so far. There's a lot of them out there, and I ran across some black Union soldier names, and I would like to get some of them stone. Right. We have honored 2 black Confederate soldiers in Columbus County a couple of years ago over at Boardman. It's almost into Robin County, it's close to the river. And so we got those 2 recognized. We had a ceremony, cannons or reenactors with the rifles and everything.
Right.
Filled the church up that day. Black and white there together, celebrating those 2 soldiers.
That's great.
And I think she was like a great-great-granddaughter, and she was tickled to death
I can imagine.
To get her ancestor recognized.
Yeah, that's great.
And,
now, if anybody has an ancestor who served in the Civil War or any other war, as a matter of fact, and needs a grave marker, how can they contact you to do that?
Well, I don't do computer. I'd be too dumb, I guess to say. I still correspond by telephone and through the mail.
Okay.
My telephone number is 910-642-4021. And my mailing address is 53 Sherwood Road, Wyville. And it's 28472.
Okay. Now, once they let you know what they are hoping to get, now you have a, forms, I guess, that's the first thing.
This is the form that you fill out. It's called a 401330. It's the application for a standard government headstone or marker. And on this, you can get the upright or granite and flat granite, or you can get marble, upright and flat. And you get the bronze. Don't think about it, if you get the bronze marker, that's the metal marker. You have to buy the foundation piece yourself.
Okay.
And I have gotten 2 or 3. I don't really encourage those because the family got to put money out to get that foundation piece, and it's bolted to it, you know. And people are trying to steal those now. You know, just stealing the vases out of the cemetery for the flowers. And I have seen those where they have tried to pry them up and break them loose. Recycle for money.
Right.
But that's mostly what I get is the marble. I mean the granite. The granite is a real smooth and it's a much stronger and tougher stone than the marble. The marble's pretty when it comes in there because it's real white and you got the black letters and all. But the granite will outlast it and down the road I found out. And,
right.
I've seen some of the like the Revolutionary War where they had the marble and the Christian cross be completely fell out, you know, just deteriorated.
Right. And
just be a circle there, nowhere to cross with. But that granite, I think it'll last a lot longer. And,
right.
Most of mine have been the uprights. They weigh a little over 200 pounds. And I've got a few flat stones, but some cemeteries require that, you know, but they don't have head stones. So, but if you put a flat stone out in the country, you've got to watch out they get covered up over a period of time.
Right.
You get named, dates, rank, cemetery. You got to have an address for a cemetery nowadays. You got to have a cemetery official, if there's one available, to sign off, give permission to put the stone down. I sign it, and it comes to me, and they come in on an 18-wheeler, and sometimes you might get one, the next time you might get 20. You know, just according to how they ship them.
Right.
I have got, I know a couple of Januaries in the past, I have gotten like almost 40 in 1 month. And they come in on those pallets and it's yours then.
Right.
You got to grab and go with it.
That's right. That's right.
There's another form that you can get awards and decorations or citations. Like you had, if your daddy came back World War II and had a lot of battle ribbons and things that had been lost or given away, you can fill this form out and they'll send you some more.
Okay.
I got one for my daddy. I think whatever, most of them when they get out, they only want to get out and get home, you know, especially World War II.
Right.
And, anyway, I got my daddy's and they came in 3 weeks and I told the VA girl, she said, I just cannot believe that. I said, nobody's ever gone that quick. But, but anyway, it usually takes about 4 or 5 months for the awards to come in.
Okay.
I know I ordered some for Johnny Hemingway, and I saw his son Alden not too long ago, and it's been close to 2 years, and he said, my daddy's ribbons ain't come yet. And I said, well, sometimes it just takes a while.
Right.
But anyway, you just got to tough it out.
Yeah.
If you lose your, like World War I or World War II and up, if you lose your discharge, different reasons, house fires, so on, there's a form you can fill out to reorder them. And you just have to fill out the basic information, and it goes through the process. It probably takes about 4 or 5 months for that too to happen.
Okay.
But you can get your records if they hadn't been. They said they had a fire at one of these places years ago. They lost a lot of records, but most of the time you can get them. But veterans, when they come home, are supposed to record their discharge at the courthouse for a permanent record. And
okay.
So that way, if they do have a loss, they'll have it. I know I got one for Errol Kent, did down the airport road. And for her granddad, he was in World War I, and he was my granddad's brother. And tickled Eleanor to death when she saw that discharge, you know. She didn't know it was there.
Right.
You know, people just don't know. But it was lucky he came home and got it recorded.
Right.
And so that saved, we got him a footstone for World War I.
So you can help folks with all of this if they need the help.
See, but a lot of people don't know this is available through the VA, you know. There's a lot of ways a veteran can get help. And if you're still living, or you don't have to be dead to get them.
Right.
They live and get help too.
Right. Well, Layton, there's probably a whole lot that we could spend time talking about. Just kind of go on and on.
Okay.
And all of it is extremely interesting. But I sure do appreciate you coming by, and good luck with this effort. I think it's very worthwhile. And folks, don't forget the 150th anniversary of the start of the Civil War is coming up on Tuesday, and the Bladen Journal on that day will start a series of information about the Civil War, much of it with Layton Dowless' help. Thank you for joining us on the Saturday show. Y'all have a good week.